What the hell happened to all the good wingers in football?
It seems like now you're expected to be touchline hogging and there's not much room for expressionism. I give you an example of Jack Grealish at Manchester City, a talented player at Villa who's now restricted to just holding and hogging the touchline. And that's the same for many wingers. Look at Martinelli at Arsenal. I'm an Arsenal fan, but the way he hogs the touchline, that's no way a winger should be. They should be able to express themselves and move according to the game state. Back in the day, you used to have wingers of all sorts of ability and skill. It didn't matter what type of winger you were, whether you wanted to hog the touchline, you had the freedom to do what you wanted when you wanted to do it. But now, I don't know whether it's just managers think systems have to be in place and expressionism just helps your team get worse rather than help it get better, but something's just not right. I can't name you 5 wingers off the top of my head with world-class ability. Okay, Leao is fantastic, but again, a hot and cold winger. But when he's in full flow, he's absolutely enjoyable to watch. But even then, we can't fully enjoy him because we're already thinking about the times where he wasn't at his best and wasn't performing. So when he does perform, we're just thinking, why can't you do this week in, week out? Why don't you have the ability to show how good you are every week, like the wingers of the past, the Ronaldos, the Messis when he used to play out wide, the Neymars? They're all no longer in football. It seems like the winger is a dying art. Even looking at the best players in Europe, the likes of Bukayo Saka, who's at Arsenal, a fantastic world-class winger, but again, it just seems like he's playing with a lot of restriction on him. I must stay wide, I must come in at this point, I must receive the ball here, I must shoot here, I must pass here. Everything just seems to be like a clock. The hand just ticks, and you must do something every time it ticks. It just isn't right. I don't know what has happened. I think the best thing that has happened actually is the Euros. We got to see players express themselves. Look at Kvaratskhelia of Napoli. If I had watched him at Napoli, I wouldn't have seen him in the same light I did when I saw him at Georgia. He had the freedom to do what he wanted because he was the best player on the pitch, and boy, he was absolutely incredible. You could see his talent, and that's the winger you want to see. A winger who wants to run and be direct, take on players, take risks. That's exactly what we want to see. We don't want somebody passing it back, you know, every time you have the opportunity to take on your man, you're scared to lose the ball. That's not how football should be. So it was nice really to see the Euros and see players who don't often get the opportunity to just take on their man because their country isn't as strong. But now we got to see that, and boy, it was a fantastic experience. Same for the Leaos. But unfortunately for the likes of Vinicius Jr., the Euros wasn't a time for him to express himself. But he's one winger who really reminds me of the past. Someone who wants to take on players like the Eden Hazard, the Ronaldos of the past. Somebody who's fearless like the Alexis Sanchez is too. I'm not saying that Alexis Sanchez is on the level of Vinicius, but that fearless nature in wingers, not many wingers have it, but Vinicius Jr. certainly does. It doesn't matter if you want to do monkey chance and give him hell every single game. He's going to keep on taking on his winger. He's going to his fullback. He doesn't care what you think. He still has the mentality, a world-class mentality, to take on his man and create something we need and want to see from wingers that we're not seeing it. It seems at the top teams they don't exist, but at the teams lower down they are there in abundance. I take you to Aston Villa. Look at them. They've got Leon Bailey, they've got Diaby who's on his way out, it seems. But those are wingers who are fearless to take on their man no matter what. Maybe because they're at a club where risks are able to be taken because the repercussions aren't as bad. But again, it's just brilliant to see that we still have wingers in the game willing to take on their man, because it really is a dying art. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on wingers. Are they dying, or is it just me being dramatic? If you have enjoyed, make sure you have subscribed and liked, and until next time, peace.